Right, so now I'm going to show you how to remove the door handle. This way you can get your PPF door cups in here. Okay, it's fairly straightforward and they're all the same. Okay, so just open up the door. You'll see a little grommet in here. That needs to come out. You might want to use something that's plastic. Please don't use a screwdriver because you might end up damaging the paint. So just use something plastic just to get in and around. Just slowly pry it out. If it flings out, you can just grab it and put it somewhere safe. Okay, so in here is a T27 Torx bit. So what you can do is just get a T27 just like this. I find these fairly easy to use because you've got a bit more of a grip. Make sure you've got, if you're going to go buy one, make sure it's a little bit longer because it is recessed in there quite far. So what you'll do is just find that spot. It might be a lot of tension, but it's going to click and then it becomes loose. Okay. So it's going to click and then come loose. Don't stress too much because there is a stopper inside here, so you can't over unscrew the thing in here. So once you get to a certain point, it's loose and then you sort of stop. If you're going to put your fingers in here, be very careful. Okay, and that'll release this back bit here. And what you do with the handles, you're going to go towards the back of the car and then you can pull out. So just like that, and it releases. Okay, so that'll give you nice clear access here. The fronts are a little bit different. I'm going to bring you around to the front now. So the same steps apply to getting those new grommets out. So remove your grommet. I like to place it on the seat so I know where it is. Okay, so you hear it click. And then you screw nicely. To a point where that's loose, that should just pop out like that. Now with these ones, they don't come out completely because the button electronics go inside and are connected inside the door card. So with this one, you're just going to pull out and then just leave it like that. Okay. When it comes to putting back in, just sort of wiggle it back in with the cables in here. And it's the same process to get those back on, and the back doors are the same. Alright. So in your kits you'll find that we've provided you with 6 door cups, that way you get 2 to practice. It's all about technique when doing these. It's fairly simple if you've got the technique right, but I'll show you how to do that now. So you're going to go ahead and clean and prepare the surface. Okay. So I've just sprayed some detergent on this. Just to clean it up. Okay, and if you've got heaps of scratches in there, it is recommended just give it a cut and polish. You can do it by hand in a circular motion just to remove any sort of light scratches, and it removes the dirt a little bit as well. So it gives you a cleaner sort of finish towards the end. Lucky for us, this one doesn't have too many deep ones. Okay, so in your kits, you'll receive 6 of these. Alright, it is recommended to use gloves for this one because we are going to be shaping this off the car and then installing it nicely. So I'll go ahead and do that now. what I'm going to do is just going to apply our slip solution on there. So again, recommended 2 drops per 1 litre, as we want to be able to move it around, but once we apply pressure with the squeegee, we want it to stick. Okay, so you're going to apply your slip solution to the back adhesive side of this door cup. What we're going to do, we're going to push with our thumbs and try to create a cup out of this. So the best way to do it is go 1 on the top, just like that. The bottom. Okay. And then we want to get a couple running up and down. So we'll start in the middle. Just hold it for a couple of seconds. And to one side, just lightly, and then to the other. Okay, so if you're looking at your door cup, the wider section is facing up, and then the smaller section is on the bottom. Okay, so the reason why we use gloves when we're pressing into it, we don't really want to get any contaminants from our fingers on the back of this adhesive side. So we'll spray it again on the back. Just going to apply it so that we can line it up nicely. You can do it as high or as low as you want. I just do it right before that curve. So then you'll grab your squeegee. We're going to start from the middle at the top and just tack that down. Okay, and while we're pushing, what the squeegee is going to do, it's going to take shape of that inner section there. Okay, so as you can see, when we've cut this, it just takes a little bit more of a better shape. Okay, so you'll tack the top once you're happy with the placement, and then you're just going to run the squeegee right down the middle. It starts to bunch up really quick. What you can do is just lift up the bottom there and just help it out. Okay, so that's the middle done. And then all we have to do, just these little wrinkles, we've just got to get them out. So nice even pressure from the middle working out. And then from the middle again, you might want to hold the door and just work those bubbles out. Okay, once that's done, you can dry it with a microfiber cloth. And there's your door cup. So to set everything and make sure it's going to stay in place, what I would recommend is grabbing a heat gun from a distance, just heating up and focusing on these edges here. That way any sort of light moisture gets removed and the adhesive activates. Otherwise what you can do, you can get a handheld little steamer for about $20. You'll be able to just steam everything and then just keep squeegeeing. That way all the slip solution moisture will come out and it's not going to pull back on you. So the importance of the cupping before we apply it is just to get that initial shape. That way we're not getting any crease marks or anything that might cause issues when installing. Okay, so it is fairly easy, but again it's the technique on how you do it before you apply it to the vehicle. And if you want a perfect finish, I would recommend just clay barring, cut and polishing anything out, unless your car is new. But the newer the better. And if you find that in the future you're going to get little bits of dirt build up here, what you can do with a clay bar and some lubricant is just run across that line and the clay bar is going to pick up all that dirt. But again, there's heaps of coverage. So when you put the door cover back on, it's all protected in there. Alrighty. So you're going to repeat the same process all the way around, and then go ahead and put everything back on, and that's it. All done. So yeah, please be careful when you're doing this one. Try not to pull too hard. The best way to do it is you're just wedging something in here while you're unscrewing it. That way it pushes that back bit forward and it'll just pop out freely. And it just takes a little bit of a wiggle for you to be able to access the front of the handle. Okay, so there's no need to disconnect any door cards, any cables, you're just moving it out of the way. This whole install should take you about 20 to 25 minutes for all 4. And if you happen to do it in the first 4 goes, you've got 2 spares down the track if anything happens. So another thing you might want to just be wary of, when you're cleaning this, you want to clean up here as well. When you're spraying your slip solution, for example, and this is a little bit dirty, what it's going to do, it's going to pick up dirt from here and just drag it down underneath your film, which is a common mistake. It's even gotten me in the past as well. But just something to be mindful for. Probably be beneficial if you can wash the whole car completely before you attempt any sort of PPF installation. But for the purpose of this video, that's all ready to go there. So spray your slip solution on. Spray it on the back adhesive side of your PPF. Okay, so wider side is the top. You're just going to cut the PPF, so one on the top, stretch out horizontally, one on the bottom, stretch out horizontally. Don't stretch right on the edge, just go a little bit inwards. So there's that bottom edge there, just go a little bit inwards so that way it cups nicely. And then a couple of vertical ones, so you want one in the middle, one heavy one in the middle and 2 light ones on the side. And the benefit of gloves is it's not going to remove any grease or skin from your fingers, which could contaminate the film. Okay, it should be a nice little bit of a cup shape. You'll be able to put right there. And what we do, we just line up the top. And we want it. So just take the top down, not too far, sort of just a quarter of the squeegee width, just to set that in place. Okay, we're going to push down, and when we get to halfway, I'm just going to flick the bottom up. So if you're getting a lot of bunching here, it means it wasn't cupped properly. So the importance of cupping the PPF is paramount to an installation like this. With a bit of finesse you can remove it. It's just applying firm pressure, that way the squeegee takes shape of your cup there. If you're not applying enough pressure, what's happening is the squeegee is touching both the outsides, but the insides being left a gap. So that way you're just going to get water trapped from your slip solution in the middle. So by applying firm pressure, you'll be able to minimise that risk. So I did get a little crease in this one, so you can lift it up. Just spray with your slip solution again. We just want to work to get that out. Okay, just slowly work with the film. Alright, and that crease on that edge is gone. I don't recommend installing this outside. Please do it in a very cool, undercover area. Otherwise what you'll find is the adhesive is going to tack very quickly, once you start, if you need to make any corrections, like I did here, it's just going to stretch the PPF and it becomes an absolute nightmare to work with. So just on the weekend, if it's a 25-degree day, those are the ideal conditions for installing something like this. And make sure the car's surface is cool to touch. Again, you don't want a warm surface when you're applying PPF because it's just going to cause headaches for you. Okay, so that's the driver's door one. So you just pull that out a little bit, clip that back in, and that's ready to go. Nice and easy.